So we do also get a Lindsay Lohan montage, like, where it's her getting ready, like you said.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
is it here or later that we find out that her dad wants to make her vice president of Atmosphere?
No, right. That's she says it to somebody. Maybe it's Tad. Maybe it's Terry, the head get her dressed person. But she doesn't want to be vice president of Atmosphere because that's just a title he made up so he can protect me. And like, Lindsay, you are obviously nearing 40 years old. I know the character you're playing is 28, but you're obviously nearing 40. You have been living off of your father's dime for nearly 4 decades. Just keep doing that by taking the job. Like the idea of, I don't want a job where I do nothing. You already have a job where you do nothing. It's called Billionaire's Daughter. They're just changing the title. By the way, we find out her mother died when she was 5, and she either doesn't remember it or has very, very, very specific, lucid memories about everything about her mother. Depends on what the script wants from her at any one time. But so it's just been her and her dad for her entire life.
So the other thing is like, and the overarching problem kind of with the whole movie is we never find out who she is. And the whole spoiler alert, the crux of it is like she's supposed to have forgotten who she is, but we don't find out really anything about who she was beforehand, other than the fact that she has a dead mom. Like you could do a fun thing where someone is rejecting that title and has never had a title because they want to find something about themselves. But there's no context for anything else that she's like interested in any
No,
way,
like
shape, or form.
if she wanted to do other things, other real specific
What
things
a
with her life,
single thing.
then her turning down the vice president of Atmosphere job from her father, from which she would be paid a salary equal to however much her allowance has been since she's been alive. If she had an alternative, then maybe it would make sense. But because she doesn't, it doesn't. And here's the thing: as you said, like, listen, you and I could write this movie 1,000 times better than this movie did, because right there you have this awesome thing where she says, for this whole time when I've had the amnesia, I didn't know who I was. But now that I remember that I am Sierra, I realize that I've never known who I am until now. I am your housekeeper / wife, Jake. That's that. Okay, so anyway, so a major plot development happens where Jake Russell Terrier is walking through the lobby and misses a luggage cart and does a little spin move and splats open hot cocoa first into the chest of Lindsay Lohan, who's wearing a full pantsuit thing.
Fabulous, fabulous,
Yeah,
fabulous.
fabulous. She's wearing a big poofy hot pink hat and oversized sunglasses. And Jake Russell looks directly into her face for 15 seconds. And an hour later, can't remember having met her. That is, so I'm not really sure who has the brain damage / memory loss here. Is it the girl who fell down a mountain and landed headfirst into a tree trunk, or is it Jake Russell Terrier who just is a goldfish?
And not only is she a celebrity, if you want to give me like the, oh, I don't pay attention to that stuff, I would have known whatever. It's the daughter of the person you made a business pitch to.
Yeah. So in doing your research about this guy, you would have Googled it, and I think one of the first things that would have come up about the Belmont
the headline grabber
hotels is all, like, just Google it, and all the news things that come up are Sierra Belmont seen here with this celebrity, that because that's what would come up in the Google search. But he has no idea who
If he did Google it, he doesn't deserve the money for his stupid bed of breakfast.
anyway, Tad's like, "You've done enough. Leave." And so he does. He goes back to his sad little resort where there's one horse that carries 2 people at a time in a carriage, in a sleigh, and that's his resort. Apparently, there is a ski run at his resort that only exists when the movie needs it to, because it actually isn't at the location they filmed the resort at. They had to drive an hour in the mountains to film it. So whatever. Anyway, out in the middle of nowhere, Tad and Lindsay Lohan and Sierra have gone to do a photo shoot so they can put it on Instagram so he can get more likes. And but they don't know how to unhook the snowmobile from the trailer, so he just says, "Unhook!" Like it's voice command activated. And they somehow they cut away and they come back, and I don't know how he's gotten it unhooked, but he did. And they went up to this very top thing. There's a guy I follow on Instagram who's a trail runner who told that this is what he geotagged
it.
And so they're up there, and he chooses to be up there to propose to her, but the ring is comically too big for her finger, and he says, "We'll get it resized." But then she starts to slide down the mountain the opposite way behind her, and he reaches up to grab her and pulls the ring off her finger, and she slides back the other way. And he goes, "No!" to the heavens in a very, over outlandish way, which I guess he was standing on ice, because his half of the mountain breaks away underneath him, and he falls. Unfortunately, not to his death. He just falls. And if he had died in the fall, the rest of the movie would be so much better. Because every time they recheck in with him, they remind you there's a different movie that this guy is in, and it might be an okay film if everybody else was in it. But he's, I don't think, very good. He's just really he just is over the top. You know what I mean? Like he can be over the top and good. He's just over the top, which can be fun to watch. But Lindsay Lohan skids down the end and her half of the mountain, and she's falling face forward on her face, sliding down the mountain, and lands with the crown of her head at, I don't know, 120, 130 miles an hour directly into a tree. So she's dead, but she's not, because this is a movie. They could have had any other thing could have happened to her to give her this amnesia, but whatever. So Jake Russell Terrier just happens to be driving a couple through the on the sleigh past this spot, and sees a hot pink coat laying in the ground and goes, "Hold on, everybody, I'm gonna go check this out." And he goes over there and he's like, "Oh my God, not Miss Belmont, the woman that I know a lot about because I Googled your father, but oh no, a random skier, not somebody that I met by staring face to face with an hour ago. Nope, different person." But anyway, he gets on the walkie-talkie to nobody. Like he's like, just we don't find there's the staff that he has at that place is his mother-in-law and his daughter, and now Lindsay Lohan. There's like one other guy who I guess works part-time, and Santa Claus. Santa Claus works there. I don't know why Santa Claus works there, but he does. This friggin' movie. But he's like, "Hey, we got a 172. Send out the helicopter to airlift us, because he's got a helicopter." So I don't know.
He has a helicopter, but the resort isn't doing well.
It's not his helicopter. I think he says get the sheriff to to airlift somebody. So, but I did think it was kind of funny. He was like, "Get the helicopter
to the chopper."
Shout
Shout out to the people on the sled who were like, "Hey, there's a body over there, by the way."
Yeah, it's good.
RESPECT. Click the subscribe button and find out what it means to me. Nah, that doesn't have a ring to it. But if you like videos about real news stories that are funny, stupid, or weird, subscribe now.